I thought climbing out of rookies would feel like progress, like I'd finally crossed some invisible threshold and left the chaos behind. But all it really did was make it clearer how far I still had to go. For the first time since I started sim racing, I didn't know what to do next. Was the M2 Cup really the right move? Should I drop back into MX5 and rebuild my confidence? Maybe I should try a completely different car and series altogether. The truth is, this isn't some giant step up. The M2 Cup is still rookie territory. It's just faster, heavier, and up to this point, much less forgiving. But it felt like the next logical step, and I wasn't quite ready to give up on it yet. So I'd made myself a deal. I'd give it one more shot. Same track, same car, but this time I'd try something different. No wild leaps, just a few small changes behind the scenes to see if I could bring the car back to me before I gave up on it completely. And I did what every world-class sim racer eventually does. I blamed my settings. And incredibly, this time, it turns out I was actually right to do so.
I won!
The thing is, when I first set all this up, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Half the settings might as well have been written in ancient Greek. I knew they mattered, I just didn't know how or to what extent. And yeah, I know, settings are subjective, everyone's got their own perfect setup, but I was fresh off the boat and desperate. So when I saw a random Reddit post with a bunch of people saying, "This changed my life," I just copy and pasted the settings straight into SimPro and hoped the wheelbase wouldn't blow itself into shrapnel the second I jumped on track.
Well, can't you see that's the last act of a desperate man?
And well, it felt better than what I had, but let's be honest, it was like swapping out a potato for a steering wheel. Anything felt like an upgrade. But now, I wanted to actually understand what I was changing. No more guesswork, no more Reddit roulette, no more force feedback settings written in hieroglyphs. This time, I wanted to feel connected to the car, for real. So I started from the bottom up. Literally. The one thing I did know for sure, my brake pedal was completely betraying me. It felt like an on-off switch. No middle ground, just slam and hope for the best. I didn't know the perfect setup, but I knew I needed more travel, more feel, something that gave me control, not panic. So I stripped things back in the software. It turns out the rubbers inside the brake pedal had softened over time, which meant I was getting a lot more travel than when they were brand new. But my calibration hadn't caught up, so I recalibrated the brake entirely. That one change gave me way more control on corner entry. Suddenly I wasn't just stabbing the brake and hoping for the best, I could actually lean into it and modulate properly. Still not perfect, it wasn't some kind of magical fix, but finally I could at least feel what the brakes were doing beneath me. Next up, force feedback. This time I didn't go hunting for magic numbers, I went looking for actual understanding. I didn't want to just copy another setup again. This time I actually wanted to know what I was changing. Not which numbers to use, but what those numbers actually meant. So I started simple. Pick one setting, turn it all the way down to 0, jump on track and do a few laps. Then crank it to 100 and go again. Let me tell you, some of the settings at max, straight up comedy, like driving a forklift through a hurricane. It felt less like driving and more like taming a rabid lawnmower. But weirdly, that's what helped me the most. Not just hearing that this setting increases resistance or that one simulates mass. Actually feeling how each one warped the wheel's behaviour gave me way more insight than any forum post ever could. And slowly, the wheel started talking to me in a language I could actually understand. Again, not perfect, but the progression was there. I kept researching. I went deep, like deep. I lost count of how many hours I spent buried in forum posts, setup breakdowns, YouTube guides, just trying to wrap my head around how force feedback actually works. And then, just when I was about to give up and start flipping coins for every setting, I saw a new video from Dave Cam. Massive shout out to Dave for that one. If he hadn't made that video, I'd probably still be in a Reddit rabbit hole arguing with strangers about caster settings as we speak. He was talking about this tool called Marvin's awesome iRacing app. And I figured, screw it, one more experiment can't hurt. So I downloaded it. I spent hours testing, tweaking, learning. This wasn't just another plug and play setting sheet. It actually helped me feel the car. The tiniest bit of understeer, the first twitch of oversteer, it wasn't just happening to me anymore. I could feel it coming. For the first time since I bought this rig, I felt like I was driving the car, not just reacting to it. No more surprise spins, no more mystery grip levels. Just me, the car, and a connection that finally made sense. I wasn't magically fast overnight, but I wasn't fighting the car anymore, and that alone felt like a win. All the chaos, all the frustration, all the hours spent trying to wrestle with something I didn't fully understand, it led to this. This wasn't about pace anymore. It wasn't about proving anything. I just wanted to feel in control again, to enjoy driving even if the results didn't come. If the result didn't improve, I knew what that problem really was. It was the hunk of meat sat behind the wheel. So I queued up, same car, same track, same series. But this time, everything felt different. And you can tell from my qualifying position that things had changed. This is the one, the race where everything finally clicked. I'd qualified in second, which, considering the last few races, already felt like a minor miracle. But this wasn't about proving anything to anybody else anymore. I just wanted to drive clean, drive smart, and see what the hell I was capable of when everything finally felt right.
It might be a pretty face, but I fight to win.
Lap 1, the goal, don't do anything stupid. Not yet. First few corners, I'm not thinking about overtakes or defending. I'm thinking tyres, brakes, temperatures. Let everything come up to speed. Let me come up to speed. I let the guy in first pull away a little. Not because I couldn't chase him, because I didn't want to. Not yet. I'd made that mistake many times before, pushing too soon, cooking the tyres, locking up like an idiot. This time, I was playing the long game. This early in the race, it's just not worth pushing it and potentially exchanging second place for a seat on the loser bench. I'm giving the car about 80%, and I could feel a little slip through the wheel. You know, tiny ones, nothing dramatic, but enough to know we weren't at full grip yet. Meanwhile, P1, up ahead, he was pushing like it was the last lap of Le Mans. Bold strategy. And that's when I knew. If I stayed smooth, stayed in rhythm, I didn't need to beat him in a sprint. I'd get him eventually. The new brake calibration is working like magic. There's actual modulation now. I'm not stabbing the pedal, I'm squeezing it. Feeling the weight shift, trail braking into the corners, feathering the throttle on the exit. You'll probably even notice my lines changed a little bit. Tighter apexes, smoother exits. I'm carrying way more speed, but it's all predictable, way more controlled. Down the straight at the start of lap 2, I glance in the mirror. The guy in third's further away from me than I am from first, and somehow That clicks something in my head. It gives me a physical, visual reference for the race. I'm not just hanging on here, I'm in this. Brakes and tyres are warming up now. They're not quite perfect yet, but I know it won't be long before I can start pushing, properly pushing. I'm right on cue. Coming into the triple left-hander, I see the guy in front push too hard, runs wide off the racing line. Not a disaster, but it tells me everything I need to know. He's pushing hard. Meanwhile, I've got speed in reserve. That gives me a bit of confidence. I'm not even hitting 100% and I'm sticking with someone who's clearly driving on the edge. Well, something's about to give and it definitely won't be me. Next corner, there it is. Pushes too hard again, touches the grass, and it's game over. Off into the weeds. And yeah, I've been there. That used to be me. Hell, that was me a couple of days ago. Now I'm watching it happen from the outside and honestly, it looks kind of stupid. I get it now. And just like that, I'm in the lead. Not because I dive bombed somebody or rolled the dice, just by driving my own race, keeping it clean, playing the long game, being patient. Suddenly, I'm leading. Not for the first time ever, but for the first time, it actually felt like I deserved it and I might stay there. I glance at the gap. P2's still there, but slipping further back, and that's all I need. Confirmation that I'm in control of the pace, not just surviving it. The car's balanced, predictable, and for the first time in ages, I don't feel like I'm hanging on for dear life. I feel like I'm actually racing. So I decide to open the taps. Not all the way, maybe 90%, leave a little in reserve just in case the guy behind finds some pace. But for now, we're cruising. I'm still easing into the throttle like I'm afraid to wake it up too suddenly. I know there's more pace to unlock, but there's no need to get greedy. There is one downside though, and his name is Marvin. MAIRA's been a game changer for feel, but it does come with its one tiny side effect. The force feedback now tries to kill me every time I so much as sniff a sausage curb. I'm not joking, one wrong angle and my wheelbase goes full Mortal Kombat. Normally I'd be losing my mind, but I can't lie, it's actually genius. You learn real fast not to hit them again. Every lap I'm building confidence, not just in the car but in myself. The gap behind is holding steady and everything feels deliberate. This is the first time in a long time I haven't felt like an imposter in the lead. Lap 4, and it's becoming clearer just how much has changed. The way I'm trail braking now is not just a little improvement, it's like I've unlocked a completely different car. Before, with that on-off brake feel, there was no finesse. I'd stamp the pedal, pray for grip, and then rock it onto the throttle like I'd just lit a fuse. But now, I can actually lean on that brake, keep weight over the front tyres, feel them bite, and then roll off, gently feed the throttle in and slingshot out. The wildest part? It's changed my line too. I'm turning in tighter, carrying more speed, and it's not some dramatic transformation, it's subtle, almost instinctual. I'm not even thinking about it. No big adjustment, no conscious effort. I'm just driving. And then I look down and realise I've shaved 0.2 off a sector I wasn't even pushing in. And that's when it hits me. This is the first time the car's working with me, not against me. Every input has a response, every twitch makes sense. Maybe I was getting a little too comfortable up front. Coming into turn 3, I turn in just a fraction too early. Tiny misjudgment, but it's enough to compromise the whole corner. I end up letting the car drift out further than I wanted, and the exit, not great. I lose a bit of momentum down the straight, and for a split second I feel that old panic creeping back in. But the gap behind doesn't shrink. If anything, it holds steady. That mistake would have rattled me a week ago, sent me into a full self-destruct mode. But not this time. This time I just breathe, reset, tell myself, alright, get back on it. I've still got this. And somehow, the next few corners, they're some of the best I've driven all race. No second guessing, just pure flow, the rhythm's there. Even this corner, the one that used to feel like it was designed specifically to ruin my life. Now, it feels good. Like the car just wants to rotate through it. It's planted, predictable. And there's this strange feeling when everything clicks. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it's quiet, controlled, almost eerie. And I can see the timing line creeping further away from P2. It's not a landslide, but it's mine. Built 1/10 at a time. Every time I trail bake now, I'm not thinking, I'm just doing. My feet know where to go. My hands aren't reacting anymore. They're guiding. And that's when you realise you're not learning in this moment. You've already learned. This is just you finally applying it. Lap 5 ends. Nothing major happened, but somehow this felt huge. Lap 6 begins, and by this point, I'm not even driving with my hands anymore, I'm driving with muscle memory. The inputs are softer, cleaner, everything feels dialed in. There's no hesitation, no thinking, just instinct. And remember, turn 3 from last lap? Yeah, not this time. This time I nail it. Best use of the camber I've made all race. Got the nose in early, let the car rotate on its own and just rode the grip through the exit. The moment I opened the throttle, I knew it was spot on. Just look at that gap behind now. Not my miles, but it's growing quietly, lap by lap, like the car is doing the talking for me. Each sector I'm not blowing the delta away, I'm just chiselling. Little time gains here, little refinements there. It's strange. The more settled I get, the faster I feel. Not because I'm pushing harder, but because the car wants to go quickly now. Like it's finally willing to work with me. I used to dread these corners, overdrive them, understeer wide, but now I can trail brake right to the edge of grip, let the car load up and just trust it. The weirdest part? I'm still holding something back. I've got headroom. If P2 closes in, I've got extra pace in my back pocket. Then I spot it. Up ahead, just off to the side. A car leaving the pits. Fresh out, cold tyres. It's a side quest. I clock the Pringles logo on the side. I remember him from the grid, so I know he's not slow. But here's the worry. If he's not fully up to pace, he might drag me into trouble, kill my momentum, or worse, invite P2 back into the picture. Nothing I can do now but close the gap and hope this doesn't become a problem. 1 lap left, 1 car between me and a clean end to this race. The Pringles car is now properly in sight. He's not in the way yet, but he could be. Part of me is calculating everything. Where I'll catch him, where I might lose time, what the guy in second's doing behind. But the other part? Still completely zoned in, just driving. I've still got a gap to second, but it's not massive. All it takes is 1 awkward overtake and that margin could evaporate in half a sector. So I keep the pressure light. No lunges, no desperate moves, just stay calm, get close, let the move come to me. And then, opportunity. The guy might have had a good qualifying, but whatever he's doing now isn't up to speed. I pull into the slipstream, line it up and absolutely smoke him down the straight. No drama, no hesitation, just done. Gap to second, still safe. No pressure, just keep it tidy now. At this point it's all about rhythm. The lead's mine to lose, and I'm not giving up for anything. Even now, I'm dropping tenths. Not chasing records, just building consistency, and honestly, that's what's changed the most. Before all the hardware changes, before MAIRA, I'd be hanging onto the wheel, praying it didn't step out. Now, I can feel the rear before it moves. It talks to me. No battles, no dive bombs, no chaos, just me, the car, and the final lap ahead. One more lap. Just bring it home. No traffic, no pressure behind, no excuses, just one lap between me and my first ever win. And honestly, I'm not even thinking about winning at this point. I'm thinking about not messing it up. Every input feels locked in, the brake pressure, the throttle modulation, the car's talking, and for the first time, I'm not interrupting it. There's a twitch, but I feel it early. MAIRA catches it in the wheel, I balance it out, no drama. The gap to P2's huge now, I can't even see them in the mirrors, but I don't care about that. This is about me, about proving to myself that I can keep it together, not just for a lap, not just for a sector, but for the full race. A few races ago, I'd have spun by now. I'd have cooked the tyres, thrown it away trying to be fast instead of consistent, but this time, everything just works. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's clean, it's precise, it's mine. And as I round the final corner, it hits me. My first win. After all the frustration, all the mistakes, all the nights wondering if I'd ever figure this out, I did it. No fireworks, no dramatic overtake on the final lap, just pure, clean, consistent driving. And it finally paid off. This is what it feels like when everything finally clicks. So yeah, I finally won. But this wasn't about winning. Not really. This was about finally putting the pieces together. All the hardware tweaks, the hours of testing, the frustration, the second guessing. It all led to this. One race where it finally made sense. I didn't outdrive the field, I outdrove the old version of me. And maybe that's the real win here. But don't worry, I'm not done yet. Now that I've found my rhythm, it's time to test it. Harder combos, faster fields, real pressure. Oh, and did I mention I've got a team endurance race coming up? Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
What the fuck, dude? Can't keep the car straight, I'm gonna have to pit.
If you've ever felt lost in sim racing, like you're the problem, trust me, you're not alone. So if you're on your own journey, figuring it out one crash at a time, stick around. We'll get there. I'll see you all in the next one.